Hello, thanks for joining us. I'm Scott Smith.
And I'm Jane Kim. On Park Update this week, how you can save money on grocery purchases.
Where to and where not to leave your leaves, we'll explain.
Now's the time to invest in your home's energy efficiency.
These stories and more just ahead on The Update. The beautiful fall leaves have peaked and Mother Nature's bringing them down to the ground, and that means raking them all up. Please keep in mind, raking leaves and grass clippings onto the streets is a violation of the City of St. Louis Park Erosion Control Ordinance. When rainwater carries leaves and grass clippings down streets and into lakes and ponds, they harm water quality. When leaves and grass decay, they release phosphorus, which results in excess algae growth and scum. Properly dispose of leaves and grass clippings by composting or using the city yard waste hauler. Organic waste customers may place leaves and grass clippings in their yard and organic waste carts. For more information, contact Public Works at 952-924-2562 or pworks@stlouispark.org. When the leaves are all gone, we all know what's coming up next. Got shovel?
Absentee voting is now underway at City Hall. Eligible voters may vote by absentee ballot for the state general election on November 4th. Absentee voting will take place at City Hall from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on Monday to Friday. Extended voting hours will be on Saturday, November 1st from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and on Monday, November 3rd from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Voting locations are listed on the city website at stlouispark.org. Click on the My Neighborhood tab and enter your address.
In the next couple of weeks, you'll be receiving the Winter Park Perspective. But you will notice the Winter Parks and Recreation brochure will not be on the flip side as done in the past. In an effort to improve our ability to communicate with residents, the city intends to move the Park Perspective newsletter to a permanent quarterly schedule while separating the Parks and Recreation brochure as its own publication. The Parks and Recreation brochure will continue to arrive 3 times each year in March, July, and November. Look for the Park and Rec brochure to arrive in the mail in mid-November.
Children First Coordinator Karen Atkinson received the 2014 Park Nicollet Community Service Award during the Park Nicollet Foundation's Gala on October 11th. Atkinson also celebrated her 20th anniversary with Children First in October. Park Nicollet's Stroke Inspire Program Director and founder Karen Bjorgen also received the award. Since 1978, the Community Service Award has been given to individuals who have made significant long-term contributions to the community. It represents Park Nicollet's deep respect and commitment to the ideals of community service and volunteerism.
Fare for All is a cooperative food purchasing program that offers quality grocery packages at discounted prices to anyone and everyone in the community. Fresh fruits, vegetables, and frozen meat purchased in bulk save you up to 40% off grocery store prices. The best food from shipments are pre-packaged to give you the greatest deals. There are no prepayment or pre-registration requirements to participate, and many forms of payment are accepted. The next Fare for All Express will run on October 28th and again on November 25th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Central Community Center, 6300 Walker Street. Fare for All, food that makes sense.
The City of St. Louis Park began a partnership last spring with Nextdoor, a private social network for neighborhoods to improve citywide and neighbor-to-neighbor communication. Nextdoor is free for residents and the city. Each St. Louis Park neighborhood has its own private Nextdoor neighborhood website, which is only accessible to residents of that particular neighborhood. Neighborhoods establish and manage their own Nextdoor website, and the city will not be able to access the residents' websites, contact information, or content. All members must verify that they live in the neighborhood before joining Nextdoor. Information shared on Nextdoor is password protected and cannot be accessed by Google or other search engines. Those interested in joining their neighborhood's Nextdoor community can visit www.nextdoor.com. If residents have questions about their Nextdoor website, please visit help.nextdoor.com. Say goodbye to your pumpkins. The curbside collection starts on Halloween, Friday, October 31st, and ends when yard waste collection is completed for the season. Residents should place their pumpkins next to yard waste bags or branch bundles on their regular garbage collection day by 7 a.m. If the pumpkins are bagged, please remember to use the compostable bags and limit the weight to less than 40 pounds per bag. Organic waste customers can place pumpkins inside their cart along with yard waste. All candles, candle wax, paint, and decorations must be removed from the pumpkin. All pumpkins will be composted at a commercial facility. Call Advanced Disposal at 763-786-7233 for more information.
Old Man Winter is knocking at the door, and right now is a good time to improve your home's energy efficiency. Energy Fit Homes is a certificate program that focuses on energy efficient upgrades that are cost effective to the homeowner, making it the only certificate of its kind. Whether you are buying, selling, or just staying put, it's never been more important to invest in your home's energy efficiency. The first step to qualifying for the certification is to schedule a home assessment by calling 612-335-3483 or visit mnenergyfit.org. Just ahead, Jane has events for the young and young at heart on Generation.
Register for classes sponsored by the St. Louis Park Senior Program. On Wednesday, November 5th from 1 to 5 p.m., instructor Leslie Grandbeck will teach students how to make a Nuno felted scarf and will guide participants in decorating a silk scarf with soft wool fibers without having to knit or sew. The Grand Ole Opry Country Music Jam will also be on November 5th, but will be from 1 to 3 p.m. All are welcome to play and listen to country music. Guitar and bass players, drummers, line dancers, and singers of all ages and skill levels are welcome. Seniors can take a trip to the Bakken Museum and the Calhoun Beach Club for lunch on Thursday, November 6th from 11:50 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. The Calhoun Beach Club's Urban Eatery recently won the 2014 Diner's Choice Award. The Bakken Museum includes a tour of Ben Franklin's Electricity Party. For more information and to register for any of these events, call 952-928-6444. Kids from 1st to 5th grade film still motion like you've never done before. Children will learn how to use professional stop-motion software on kid-friendly Macs to create fun, interactive movies. Lego bricks and figures will be at your disposal to create the ultimate Lego movie. The class will take place on November 1st, 8th, and 15th from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. At the Oak Hill Park Pavilion, 3201 Rhode Island Avenue. Register online by October 26th at stlouispark.org. There is a fee for non-residents and residents.
Up next, we'll step back in time with a reprise of the History Minute. The area to be designated Wolf Park included a lake called Johnson Lake, also known as the Swimming Hole, also called the Glen. It was located near Highway 100 and West 36th Street. It was not much of a lake. It was well hidden with overgrowth, and all manner of activities took place there. The local kids found it great for swimming, although the activity was not authorized by the city, and probably not even by their parents. Bathing suits were optional. The name of the lake was changed in 1963 to Wolf Lake, and plans were instituted to make it into a real swimming lake with sandy beaches and lifeguards. A unique part of the plan for Wolf Lake was that it was to be dredged to increase the size from 1 acre to 8 acres. The sand of the dredged area would then be sold, and the receipts would be used to improve the rest of the park system. In the summer of 1964, work was completed, and Wolf Lake was ready to be officially opened for swimming and summer activities. But before the beaches could be opened, a report from the Minnesota Department of Health showed unhealthy levels of bacteria in the lake. Although the lake was spring-fed, there was not enough water circulation to prevent buildup of bacteria. In spite of the report, the City Council decided to open the lake for the balance of 1964 on an experimental basis, while it studied a possible solution to the problem. One solution was to pump water into the lake from an unused well on the adjacent Friedheim gravel property and let it discharge into a swampy area south of the lake. Because the existing well pump was too small to pump the needed amount of water and the discharge into the swampy area would also need to be pumped, the project was deemed too expensive. The only other alternative was to build a $30,000 filtration plant, which was also too expensive. Remember, this was 1964. The Minnesota Department of Health, in its report, strongly advised St. Louis Park to build a municipal swimming pool rather than spend money on Wolf Lake. For the 1965 season, the beach was never opened, and the site was abandoned. The failure of the Wolf Park swimming beach had 2 positive consequences. First, it provided a net profit of $24,000 from the sale of the sand. This money was designated to be used in the development of the St. Louis Park park system. Secondly, it increased the interest in park development. Plans for parks and recreation in St. Louis Park took on a higher priority, and as a result, a referendum was passed to provide money for parks. In 1972, the new rec center with swimming pool was opened. Katya Dragotis is up next with a sports update.
The St. Louis Park football team finished their regular season last week with a 59-31 loss against Bloomington Kennedy. Sophomore Jamin Smith had an outstanding game with 5 receptions for 46 receiving yards with 1 touchdown. Junior Trenton Stafford was again the team's leading rusher, who had 175 rushing yards for 2 touchdowns. The Orioles will again take on Bloomington Kennedy this week in the section quarterfinals. Benilde St. Margaret's football team dominated in their final regular season game of the year against Richfield with a win of 55-0. Nate Berry was again the Red Knights' leading rusher with 18 attempts for 173 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Red Knights' defense also had a great night with 4 interceptions. They will play their first section game this Saturday at 7 p.m. The St. Louis Park boys soccer team lost in the section championship game against Wayzata 4-2. The Orioles had a great 2014 season with an overall record of 7-3-3 and finished second in the Metro West Conference. Benilde girls volleyball team finished their outstanding season with an overall 15-6 and third in the Metro West Conference. That's your park update. Sports break. I'm Katya Dragotis. The Rec Minute's up next.
This is Jason Eisel with your Rec Minute. Join us for the St. Louis Park Rec Center's first annual Skating Open House on Sunday, October 26th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Rec Center. Invite your friends, family, meet our coaches, and enjoy a free open skate session from 2:15 to 3:15. Bring your skaters' outgrown and lightly used skating equipment to sell to our other families seeking items for their growing skater. General Sports, Step and Stretch will also be at the open house, along with ride-out products and attire for all your skating needs. $1 for every item you choose to sell will be donated to the St. Louis Park Skate School to help support our annual spring ice show. Want to know more? Please email us at skate@stlouispark.org. We hope to see you on the 26th at the rink.
Well, that's it for this week's Park Update. Thank you for watching.
Now, be sure you take some time to get out there and experience life in the park.